Scalpel, a killer rock comedy by Drollinger, opened last night at Brava Theater. Bring on the sutures, for the wounds inflicted by Scalpel are oozing. Fundamentally, this is the story of a group of female Bergdorf Goodman shoppers who are undergoing plastic surgery with Dr. Bulgari. There's shape-shifting, and then there's chin-changing, eyelid removal, and nose dehooking. While they are under, the doctor implants a chip in the heads of his patients, making them susceptible to post-hypnotic suggestions that they should kill the politicians who stand in the way of his project of compulsory beautification of the human race. These murders can be executed in various ways. Forced overdoses of Botox, to asphyxiation by tampon. I believe it took 5. Oh, he was holding on by a string. I attended the preview on the evening preceding opening night. Now, I know it's really not fair to review a performance before it has officially taken place. But I'm capable of even reviewing a performance as it is taking place, as in the case of This Is My Life by Fabrizio at the Glamorama a couple of weeks ago. Scalpel is a large production with a cast of 12, 5 musicians, and 6 puppeteers. Any discussion of male, female, men, women should not be considered definitive of the gender being perceived. Indeed, I was in the orificial dark most of the time, which no doubt increased the titillation. It's always tempting to make generalizations, and so one might safely assume that a basically female production would have predominantly high frequencies. Women, the shrill sex. So I struggled valiantly to persuade myself that the chair-scraping sound of all those shrieking women was just what women do. But when the true men appeared, the shrieking continued, leading me to assume that either the performers needed some help in pitch placement of their voices, that hysteria could occasionally be modified, or the operators on the board could be using some EQ filters. The more exciting the action became, the faster they spoke, the higher the pitch, till you were rivaling coloratura renditions. These objections did not apply to the musical ensemble, who were well-mic'd and had excellent balance. For the most part, the singing is belted out in true Broadway tradition. Too bad the sound system turned it into something unbearably shrill. Maybe it was the lavalier microphones. In any case, presumably by now the modification has taken place. All in all, this show is most notable for its large production numbers. From the opening with its tantalizing lyrics and satiric implications to the orgasmic finale. I think I had more than one of those. The second act sagged a couple of times, like skin which has lost its cellulite. One of these had the entire cast on stage, doing nothing in upstage darkness, while the star, Cindy Goldfeld, as Jacqueline, sang her post-chip removal aria. It was superbly executed and probably necessary to her character, but came at an unfortunate time in the evening as a whole. By then we had been through almost 2 hours, and fatigue was setting in. The other was by the manservant Geoffrey, played by David Beecher. We were now 3/4 of the way through the evening, and his main contribution to this point had been, "Your doctor, your husband," or "Your husband, your doctor," and answering the telephone. Now, after a slow beginning, he burst forth in an impassioned solo, confessing his love for his boss, Jacqueline. One wonders why his talent was not revealed earlier in the evening. The most brilliantly executed number was one in which two of the female characters had their legs clad in black, making those appendages basically invisible. Also clothed in black, two puppeteers manipulated flesh-colored puffy legs, one puppeteer per leg, giving a most aerial, eerie effect. This enabled the women to be seen in eerie, floating positions, especially when squinting one's eyes. Martha, the Chicana maid, the only recognizable human being on stage, had most of the good lines, especially her, "I am your stereotype." Played by Katie Rubin, she brought balance to the production. Arturo Galster, peppery indeed, and that audacious dumpling, Dina Davenport, the aqua foil wrapped goodie in the top layer of a box of See's chocolates. Sorry I never got to see Senator Cockburn,